I can invite Vinny in here. So.
We know we were a much better team and we came up and represented ourselves.
That's what we call a sack lunch. Nom, 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 nom.
What is up, everybody? Welcome into another edition of the Sac City Podcast. I am your host, the one and only Vinny Milani, joined, as always, by my best friend in the whole entire world. He is Aaron the Mukesiah Mukes. It is a beautiful Tuesday evening here in the city. I apologize for not being able to yell. It is very late at night. I am neighbors. I cannot wake everyone up. I just can't. I'm sorry.
Sounds like a little punk ass move to me. I can get loud. I got kids. I'll do the loud talking for you.
Okay, so do the intro. So do the intro. Do the intro here. Do the intro.
Welcome, everybody, to the Sac City Podcast. He is the one and only Vinny Milani. I am his best friend in the whole entire wide world, Aaron Mukes, and we are fucking back.
So back. We are so back. We've got a great show ahead of us. We're going to talk a little week 12. There's so much to talk about for this week 13 slate with Thanksgiving games, Black Friday games.
The holiday seasons here, football during the holiday seasons is the best. If you want to check us out, make sure you're subscribed to all of our wonderful channels. Right now, you can watch us live on YouTube, which is kind of our main platform here at the Sac City Pod. I'm here on TikTok Live, first time ever being on TikTok Live. I don't really know how to use it. Second time ever. But we need to go 3 times before we can bring Vinny in here. So make sure you go to YouTube and watch us there unless you just want to stare at my face. Also, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Sac City Pod is fucking back. Let's go.
We are so back. Before we get into everything, again, we got a loaded show tonight. Where does Thanksgiving rank on your your holiday list?
We've gone over this before. Everybody knows it's number one. There's nothing like Thanksgiving because I don't give a shit about a lot of things in life. But the 3 things I give a shit the most about, food, football, and family, it's there. Thanksgiving, nothing beats it. You wake up, kind of get things prepped. I don't do a lot of cooking, but somebody's going to do a lot of cooking for me. And then I'm going to watch a lot of football and just spend time with family, hang out with the kids, do all that good shit. So, man, it's number one. It's number one on my list. It should be number one in yours because think about it. When you eat that Thanksgiving meal, it's like good for like 4 days. Like you get leftovers, which is really good. And
see, that's where we have the disconnect. I'm not a big Thanksgiving guy, and before I get into my spiel, let us know in the chat your thoughts on Thanksgiving and where it ranks as your holidays on your holiday list, and tell us about your Thanksgivings. Mine personally, I'm not the biggest Thanksgiving guy. I'm not a big Thanksgiving food guy.
Who cooks at your house? Who does the cooking?
Well, no one. We go places. We don't cook.
What? That's why. That's why.
But no. So
look, I don't want to make this thing about, a black and white thing. But I'm just saying, you need to season your food, Vinny, and you need to get somebody to make you some good food. I'm just saying. Come on, man.
I'm not.
You got to open. You and Alicia got to open an invite to my house for Thanksgiving. Jessica, hook you up.
It's always appreciated. It's always appreciated. We are going to my brother's this year. This is my first Thanksgiving with him. He's in New York, so we're gonna make the trip over there. I'm very excited for it because I think like the past 2 Thanksgivings, my wife has been able to go to my brother's and celebrate without me, and then I'm working, and everyone at the party is always like, "Where's your husband? Are you even actually married?" And Alicia's like, "Yeah, he's just working because this industry that we're in, we don't really get holidays off that often."
Yeah, I was wondering how'd you pull that off this year?
Yeah, so we have holiday when every year we get holiday rankings and we have to rank which ones we actually want off. And we're going on a cruise this week, so we leave Friday. So I needed.
It made sense to request this one as your day.
Yeah. If I didn't have actual legit plans, I would have Thanksgiving would have probably been last on my list. Christmas is number one. This is the whole, and I don't want to play this game with you, but I'm going to play this game with you. Italian family versus your family. Christmas is done much bigger than anything. So we just get all the classic Italian foods. We get lasagna, we get zeppelis, we get all the desserts, the cookies.
That ain't Thanksgiving food, man.
No, but I'm not a Thanksgiving guy. I'm not a big turkey guy.
Neither am I. The food is actually quite overrated, to be honest. But
what are we doing?
When you got some people that know how to cook and the seasoning, it's on point, then you're good. So either way, I'm gonna sit my ass down and watch some good football, and we're gonna talk about it tonight.
We are. Let's actually dive into this here. And it's not so morning headlines, but let's just do it anyway.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
There is no place better to start when looking back at Week 12 than the Dallas Cowboys defeating the Philadelphia Eagles 24-21. The Dallas Cowboys came back from being down 21 points. It is tied the largest comeback in franchise history for a Cowboys franchise that's pretty like historical.
Prestigious.
Okay, they're kind of a big deal in the landscape of great franchises in the NFL. This was tied for the largest comeback in Cowboys history. We got a lot of heat, a lot of Eagles fans coming at us on YouTube, on TikTok, saying that we're wrong about them, that we may be overlooking them. Well, 24-21 to the Cowboys. Aaron, is this result more about the Dallas Cowboys being better than we thought they were, or is this about the Eagles being exactly who we thought they were?
I want to be careful how I say this. I think it's a little of both. I'm not, obviously know, if you didn't know, I'm a Cowboys fan, so that it was a great win for us. But I'm not a delusional Cowboy fan, and I'm not one of those guys that's going to win a game and then think, oh, now we're going to the Super Bowl or something crazy like that. I want to start on the Philadelphia side, though. I think this notion that Philadelphia Eagles fans have of what was last year, we're the Super Bowl champs, and we've been winning so much lately, they're getting a little confused on what the knock on the Eagles of this year's team is. Nobody's saying Philadelphia is not a good football team. Nobody's saying they haven't had success. No, I haven't heard anybody really talk about any of that stuff. What people are saying is something is broken in that offense. And why do we, as people that come on and do podcasts or on big media markets, why are we being criticized for saying exactly what A.J. Brown is saying, what Nick Sirianni is saying, what Jalen Hurts is saying, and what Saquon Barkley is saying? They've all come out and said, Saquon said he's playing like crap. He said he needs to be better. A.J. Brown said the offense was broken and there's a disconnect. Jalen Hurts says they got to be better. Nick Sirianni says they got to be better in all phases of the game, offensively and coaching-wise. So why is it that I can come on here and I can say those same exact things and we get comments and mentions and, hey, you don't know what you're talking about and blah, 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 blah. I'm just really regurgitating what they are saying. Something is wrong in Philadelphia offensively. They did not score in the second half. 8 possessions, 0 points. Punt, fumble, punt, punt. They did not score. Missed field goal. Something's wrong. This is a Dallas Cowboys defense that has not been that good this year. They've gotten better, but they still have holes, and yet Philly couldn't score any points after they put up 21. By the way, 21 not just in the second half, but very, very early in that second quarter. So it was really almost 3 quarters without scoring. Something's wrong in Philly. I say it's a blend of both because Dallas has played better. The defense did show up late, and Dak and George Pickens had a good connection. The offense got rolling, and I think the momentum was just on their side. This is a blend of both teams. The Cowboys aren't as bad as some of the games they've played. They're getting better. And the Philadelphia Eagles are who we thought they were. They are a team that has a really good defense and a struggling offense, and they got to get it fixed quick or they're not going to be contending in the NFC Championship game this year.
I don't mean to put you on the spot here, but I'm going to because that's what I do. We, like you had mentioned before, you're a Cowboys fan, but we always separate fandom between fandom and reality. We always separate those two things. That's one of the things we pride ourselves on the show. For you, when you look at this Eagles team, What is wrong with how would you fix this Eagles offense? What are you seeing that can change this Eagles offense up?
Well, number one, they don't block well up front. They're not blocking in the run game. Everybody wants to point to Saquon Barkley. Yes, some of it's Saquon. He's not creating some of those explosives, but the offensive line is not blocking great for him. Anytime you don't have Lane Johnson on the outside, that's going to be a problem. They were without him. Landon Dickerson and those guys. Cam Jurgens have been banged up throughout the year. So that kind of playing the shuffle game of up front plays a role in that as well. But the one thing I don't love about this Philadelphia Eagles offense is they're so predictable. They just trust their guys on the outside to win. And if they don't win, then they don't know where to go. So it's go balls to A.J. Brown or stop routes to A.J. Brown. They're not doing anything special with them. Kevin Patullo has not put him in advantageous situations. Just look at the difference between the Dallas offense and the Eagles offense. And there are other offenses in the NFL that do this. The Rams. Watch the motion. The Eagles don't use motion in their offense, which in today's NFL, if you don't use motion, defenses know what you're going to do. They put A.J. Brown on the traditional X receiver spot and never move him, so you can't move him into the slot. He doesn't get good matchups, and you're unable to convert on big third downs and things like that. I can almost tell you from a layman person watching the game, even though I do understand the game of football, watching the game, I'm calling out what Philadelphia is going to do on 3rd and 6, what they're going to do on 2nd and 8. What they're going to do on, obviously, everybody knows what they're going to do on 3rd and 4th and 1, which is a touchdown. They are predictable, and they say, our guys are better than yours, and we're just going to beat you. And I'm sorry. Sometimes that works. But over the course of a season, you have got to scheme in the NFL. And if you don't, this is why coaching's so big in the league. If you don't, you're going to find yourself in troubled situations like the Eagles offense has been over the past couple of weeks. And specifically, not just the past couple of weeks, really all year, but they have had some games where it's worked. And so they kind of just go back to that over and over and over again, and they bank on their guys to win. But when they don't win, there's nothing else.
They've got the Bears on Friday night. We're going to talk a little bit more about Week 13 and those Black Friday games and Thanksgiving games in a little bit. I just couldn't believe all of the heat we were getting from, and I guess the Eagles fans are very passionate. They love speaking their mind, but that offense just, like you said, something's just not right with. Then they have the talent. The talent is all there. When you have Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, like your talent is going to win some of the time.
It's the same thing I told you before. I don't care if he's won a Super Bowl. I do not care what his record is as a head coach with the Philadelphia Eagles. That team has so much talent. One of arguably the best roster in the NFL. Nick Sirianni is not a good coach to me. And I'll say this until I'm proven otherwise. I really don't care what he does. He is immature. He is he's kind of aloof to me. He wants to play this bravado, this tough guy, like we're better than you. Like he plays that role and he looks like an arrogant son of a bitch on TV. But to me, I think it's just fake. I think he's fake. I don't think he's a really good football coach. NFL standards. Does he know more football than me? Yeah, of course. I'm not going to sit here and act like that. But from an NFL standard, he is just not up to par with some of the best coaches in the NFL. And so he doesn't really know where to go from here other than do what he does best, which is get on the mic and talk about they need to be better and everything's okay and whatever it is. So I think it starts there. I think the coaching, they're lacking coaching. And what they were lacking in Nick Sirianni before, Kellen Moore offensively made up for it. He was a creative offensive mind. He did things a little bit differently. Obviously, the run game was working. And whatever Kevin Patullo is doing, it's just not working. And I don't think Nick Sirianni has an answer to that.
I asked the question and brought up the point 2 weeks ago when we first brought everything back. I brought up the fact that with the Eagles, you have to be, as a fan, happy and confident that this team can figure it out when it comes to the postseason. That you give the slack to those teams that have been there before. The regular season is what it is. But now that I'm starting to see this Eagles team more and more, and we're getting closer and closer to the playoffs, what is going wrong with that offense is not how you win football games in the playoffs. We just saw the Rams team, this defense, look incredible against Baker Mayfield and the Bucs, albeit Baker Mayfield did get hurt. The defense for the Rams just getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And you can't have these types of games the Eagles are having against the Rams in the playoffs. They are going to bury you. And you're going to be playing against even better offenses when you get to the postseason, like the Rams. They're not going to let up. And you're not going to be able to claw your way back. Sure, you get up by 21 points against the Cowboys here, but that's not happening against the Rams.
And it's not going to be in Philly. If they keep playing like this in the regular season, it's going to be on the road in Los Angeles, and it's going to be different. It's going to be in a climate-controlled environment where Matthew Stafford can throw the ball all over the yard. But I don't want to go too crazy. The Eagles are still fine. The Eagles are still a good football team. Nobody's saying they're not. Nobody is thinking now there's a threat in the NFC East or anything like that. The Eagles should win the division, get a home playoff game, and they should be fine. But when it comes to the postseason, if they do not learn how to run the football in the next or figure out why they're not running the football well, then they're going to be in trouble in the postseason. This is a team that's still going to make it to the playoffs. Nobody's saying they're not. They're a good football team. They're a threat in the NFC. But in order to make another Super Bowl run, to me, they have to get it fixed.
We're going to end up clipping all of what we just said before, and what you just said there is going to be a totally separate video that Eagles fans might not check out, and it's like, all they're going to hear.
They'll ignore all the good things. They'll ignore the good stuff, which is okay with me too, because I really don't give a shit about an Eagles fan. Okay.
On the bright side, Eagles fans, A.J. Brown, 8 receptions, 110 yards, and a touchdown.
And did nothing in the second. Devontae Smith did nothing except for one big catch. The second half, they did nothing. This is what they've been, inconsistent at best offensively. Something is broken. I don't care what anybody says. They will have to fix it if they want to make a Super Bowl run.
Another team trying to make a Super Bowl run, the Buffalo Bills. Their offense struggled heavily in Week 12 against the Houston Texans. Josh Allen sacked 8 times in the loss against the Texans on Thursday Night Football. That is a career high for Josh Allen. The Bills last year gave up 14 sacks in total, and they just let up 8 to the Houston Texans. Now, I want to give credit before we get into talking about the Bills. I think we did something like this last week. I want to give the Houston Texans credit for doing what they did against Buffalo, a good Buffalo team. We all think this Buffalo team, Super Bowl contending team. What are you giving me that look for?
Don't say we all. We're going to talk about it.
Okay. All right. I want
to be cautious when you say Super Bowl contending team. They are a Super Bowl contender because they have Josh Allen. Their team is not good. The Buffalo Bills are not a good football team. But when you have Superman, like I mentioned last week, you have a chance in every game. And I will always take those odds, especially when it comes to the postseason and the way he's played in the postseason. But make no mistake about it. The Buffalo Bills as a team, they're not very good.
Okay. All right. Well, I still want to give the Texans credit before we get into any Bills.
They deserve
talk,
it.
okay?
They deserve it.
That defense has been remarkable this season. They are 6-2 in their past 8 games. Davis Mills finding ways to make it happen. 3-0 in relief for C.J. Stroud. The defense got to, like I said, Josh Allen 8 times. They're one of the best defenses in the National Football League, and they're going to have a chance at making this the playoffs with the craziness that's happening in this wild card race between the Chiefs, Jags, Chargers, Texans, Steelers, and possibly the Ravens. However, the AFC North shakes out. It's going to be fun to watch down the road, and the Houston Texans are right in it, and they deserve credit for what they did to Buffalo. Now, for the Bills, they give up those 8 sacks. Dive into it a little bit deeper, Aaron. What is going on? Why do you think the Bills are not a good team?
Well, the way they're playing, it says they're not a good team. Listen, everybody talked about the loss of Stephon Diggs and how it would help Josh Allen because he can distribute the ball to all these different guys. They wanted to treat him like the Patrick Mahomes of having all these guys he can throw to, doesn't really need a true number one. Now they go out and sign Brandon Cooks off waivers just because they're looking for wide receiver help. Keon Coleman can't get on the field because he's not doing the things he's supposed to do off the field in order to play. You have Josh Palmer, who was banged up for a lot of the time. He's not a true number one. He's a serviceable guy. You have Tyrell Shavers now in here making plays. Like, where is the weapons? Obviously, Dalton Kincaid's been out the last couple of weeks, has really hurt what Josh Allen and the Bills want to do offensively. So they're void of weapons offensively. The defense is not very good. You can run on them. You can throw on them. they are a Josh Allen reliant football team. And I want to take it back to a couple of years ago when they played the Chiefs in that game and they gave up the 13 seconds and whatever. People talked about the defense being the one that let them down. But that year, the defense was still decent, especially down the stretch, to get them where they wanted to go. Did they have a mishap in that situation? Sure. This defense right now is not good enough to beat a lot of teams in the AFC. They cannot stop the run. They cannot stop the pass. What do they do well? They're missing a couple of guys, which hurt them, but they don't generate a lot of pressure. And if you can't turn the football over defensively and give the ball back to your offense, at least when your offense is not playing that well, then you're going to struggle. And Josh Allen cannot be Superman every single week. He might do it 1 week, might be a couple of weeks in a row, but to try to ask him to do it week 12 through the playoffs every single week, it's just not going to happen. I think they need to use James Cook more in the run game. They need to get that run game back and kind of rely on that, and then have Josh Allen kind of be that play action style quarterback. But then now what it's doing is it's forcing Josh Allen into some turnovers because he's kind of reverting back to what he was. He's trying to play Superman ball and make up for the rest of the team, and it's just not working.
Now, do you think if they get James Cook involved? I mean, James Cook, 17 carries for 116 and a touchdown against Houston on Thursday. It's not like he's not producing. It's how do you explain that? Like, because they're statistically still getting James Cook involved. Is it just as simple as he doesn't have anyone who can make plays for him when it comes to the wide receiver position? I mean, like you rattled off those names. There is no playmakers on that offense outside of James Cook and Josh Allen.
You know, box scores don't actually tell the story about somebody being involved in an offense. And I mean, yes, did James Cook touch the ball 17 times? Sure. But it's when is he touching the ball in moments in the game? And we'll get to this a little bit later on. I'm going to talk when we talk like the Niners a little bit later on. But when a player touches the ball is almost more important than how many times they touch it. I've said this with Detroit. They're waiting too long to get Jahmyr Gibbs involved in the offense when he's such an explosive playmaker. James Cook needs to be the focal point of this Bills offense. And I know people that love Josh Allen don't want to hear that, but it should be played off of James Cook, because what that will do is it'll allow Josh Allen to be more efficient. The linebackers will have to cheat. Play action will work. He'll be able to hit some of those tight ends, even though it's not Dalton Kincaid over the top. It has to run through James Cook. They're not getting him involved early enough for me. And I just think if you look at when the Bills have been most successful over the past couple of seasons, it's always started with James Cook. I know it's been Josh Allen's been great, but James Cook and the running game is really kind of where that starts.
Where's your confidence level when it comes to the Bills being able to get this offense, getting this team on track to be that Super Bowl contender that I had mentioned before? Because like I said last week, like there is a potential that we end up with no Burrow, no Lamar, no Mahomes in the postseason for Josh Allen. And if he can't make it to the Super Bowl with that, I think there's going to be a lot of the heads will roll. And I see Bailey in the chat. Of course, we appreciate everyone joining in the chat. Sean McDermott might be gone at the end of the season if we end up seeing a Mahomes, Lamar, Burrow-less AFC playoff picture, and the Bills can't reach the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be McDermott because it's not going to be Josh Allen.
No.
Josh Allen's not going to be fired. But
do you have the confidence to think, okay,
listen, the Buffalo's going to the playoffs.
It's going to be but where's your confidence when they do get to the playoffs? That is this going to be the same old Bills?
Yes, and I say that, but that's not a knock. Same old Bills is they'll beat. I'm telling you right now, playoffs. They'll beat the Colts. They'll beat the Patriots. They'll probably beat Denver. They will not beat the Chiefs in the playoffs because they won't. They just never do. Like they're a playoff team every year. Now, are they going to make a Super Bowl run? Probably not. But guess what? How is that any different than any other year? They're not a good enough team to make a Super Bowl run. They're just not. They're not a Super Bowl team. So I wouldn't be surprised. It's not going to shock me if they go to the playoffs, win a playoff game, and then lose in the divisional round. That's about their ceiling. Maybe they get to the championship game and then lose there. I don't think they're a Super Bowl team. With the way they're playing right now and their roster and their personnel right now, they're not a Super Bowl team.
Mm-hmm. So if the Bills end up making the playoffs,
they will.
Well, so the Bills make. Sorry, I didn't mean. I shouldn't have phrased it like that. When the Bills make the playoffs, are they? Wait, are they out of the playoffs right now? Hold on, am I just reading things wrong here? Hold on here.
What do you,
The Bill. Where am I at here? Hold on. This is
I don't.
Bills.
It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter where they're at right now. Like they're 7-4, so they're in the playoffs. But
Yeah. So you had brought up and I think it's a really good conversation. In that wild card, like if the playoffs started today, they have to go to Denver in that wild card game. That would concern me. I know it's Josh Allen. I know it's Josh Allen.
If they had to go to Denver, if the playoffs ended today, the playoffs are not happening right now. So all these people that keep saying if the playoffs started today, they're not starting today. So the Chiefs aren't in it right now. Baltimore's 6-5. The Houston's not in it. Like we know the playoffs are not starting today. So to say if the playoffs started today is one of the dumbest statements I ever hear every year. It's so stupid. If the playoffs started today, they don't. So it doesn't matter. Now, if you want to ask me if they have to travel to Denver in the playoffs, can they beat Denver? My answer is yes, because in the playoffs, they have the experience Denver doesn't. They have Josh Allen, Denver has Bo Nix. I will take the quarterback that has the experience, excuse me, and the team over the great Denver defense with young, inexperienced players. Not saying Denver can't win, but I would bet on Buffalo.
I will say I am worried.
You worry over everything. You worry if the turkey is in the oven long enough for Thanksgiving and you don't even like it.
I don't even like. No. I don't worry about anything turkey related. That stuff is. I will get turkey to appease the masses, but it will be pushed off to the side, and I will be loading up on stuffing, green bean casserole, and all the other good fixings that are on
but you said green bean casserole. See, there's that thing again. Yeah, you
guys not have green bean casserole?
I don't do casseroles, brother.
Oh my god.
You're like you're a walking worry, though. Let's be honest. You worry about everything, so I'm not really taking that with much,
But I am concerned about if and when the Bills make the playoffs. They're obviously going to be a wild card team. They're going to be at best the 5th seed, and if they're the 5th seed, they'll end up playing a team like Baltimore in the wild card round and having to travel to Baltimore. That concerns me. If they end up being the 6th seed. If they end up being the 6th seed, they'll end up playing maybe the Colts. That's fine.
So you don't think there's a way they can win the division?
I don't think they can win the division. No. I think the New England Patriots are going to end up winning this division. Now, while I say that, let me just double check to make sure
they're 2 games back and they still play the Patriots.
When I look at the Patriots schedule, I see them finishing 3-2. They're going to finish 3, so they're going to finish 13-4 to finish the season. And when I look at Buffalo's schedule, I see them finishing the Burrow game is going to be weird. I don't know. That's going to be an odd one to me. That because they have to play Burrow, Burrow-led Bengals team.
We'll talk about the Cincinnati stuff later. I don't even want to get into this, but okay, no, it's fair. I'm not saying the Patriots aren't going to win the division. I'm just saying I'm not quick to say it's a lock. Like you say, they're going to finish 3-2, but this is the NFL. They might go on the road and lose a game to a team they're not supposed to lose to. Then they still have to play the Bills and Baltimore, and so I'm just not quick to give things to people down the stretch. After Thanksgiving is when all these races really heat up. I want to see how teams play starting last week. Really is when I kind of start to look at these teams. I told you with the Colts, the same thing. They played Kansas City. Now we get into Thanksgiving. How good are you going to be down the stretch? That's really going to be who shows me who's the contender. And right now, I'll be honest, I wasn't overly impressed with New England on Sunday. Against Cincinnati. Was not a pretty game. So that doesn't give me more confidence in them. It gives me less. So right now I'm just kind of holding still. I still think they're going to win the division, but I'm not just going to give it to them. I think there's still football left to be played.
I'm giving it to them. So that's why I think when you look at the playoffs, I think there's maybe one team somebody posted in TikTok their fantasy lineup. Mahomes, Henderson, Derrick Henry, CeeDee Lamb, Jalen Waddle, George Kittle, Jalen Warren,
projected for 136 points. Not a bad little lineup.
Is he asking for advice, or is he just wanting to flex his lineup?
He just posted his lineup. I'm not. If you have a question, go ahead and ask. I'll answer it. Shit, you got 4 people.
Oh yeah.
Let me know if you got a question about your fantasy lineups. We don't really do fantasy talk much more, but we might dabble every now and then.
Yeah.
I only played in 55 leagues at one time.
Yeah. So
all right, what we got?
Okay. All right. Oh, now I pop back into. I'm on the TikTok now.
You're in the chat.
I'm trying to see what the lineup is.
Welcome
There's
to my
people commenting
TikTok
on the
video.
chat. There's people commenting on this stuff. We gotta. Oh man.
Oh, there's just a lot of people joining and leaving. Because I'm telling you, once I get 3 times like we go live, then I can bring you in, and then it'll be a lot easier.
Word.
Then people can just watch on here. So we're just. But you guys can watch the show if you want to see what Vinny looks like. He's a scary looking individual, but he's available. We're available live right now on YouTube.
I'm available. I'm emotionally available.
We're talking. We're talking week 13, kind of in between week 12, week 13, and some things.
Yeah.
So, go join us.
Let's wrap up week 13. We're week 12 while we're at it here. There was one other major storyline that we have to dive into when it comes to week 12, and it's that man right there. It's Shedeur Sanders.
Shedeur Sanders
winning in his Cleveland Browns debut. He's the first Browns quarterback since 1995 to win in his first career start. He finished with 11 completions for 209, a passing touchdown, and an interception. Aaron, let's just start here. What did you think? We'll get into the extracurriculars after. What did you, from a football standpoint, make of Shedeur Sanders' debut?
First, I'll talk specifically about Shedeur Sanders. What he did is pretty much what I expected a rookie to do. First start. I don't care that it was the Raiders. Like, everybody's making a big deal about it being the Raiders. Bad defense, bad team, whatever. Doesn't matter. It's the NFL. So to come in, throw a pick, he got fooled by the coverage, threw a pick. They played it very safe with him. But the flashes, I liked the rolling out to the right, the ball down the field. Everybody reacted to that like they've never seen an NFL quarterback do that. But let's be honest, NFL quarterback can do that. But rookies, for a rookie to come in and make that throw, that's big. So I give him credit for that. He played exactly like I thought Shedeur Sanders would honestly actually play. Now, not Shedeur Sanders. Now I want to get to something that's still on the field, but a little bit different. I'm having a hard time understanding why Kevin Stefanski can't get out of his own damn way and why he hates Shedeur Sanders so much. And I don't care what anybody says. And this has nothing to do with the game ball talk and all that shit. It doesn't. I don't understand the reasoning that every time Cleveland got in the red zone, they went to the Wildcat. Now, I know people have talked about this, and football pundits, some guys that know more than I do, have talked about it was to play it safe with Shedeur Sanders. The Cleveland Browns have not ever had a franchise quarterback. The one franchise quarterback they had, he's now playing in Tampa Bay because they let him go. They have never had a franchise quarterback. You draft Dylan Gabriel, 3rd round. You draft Shedeur Sanders in the 5th round. And you are 2-8, I believe at the time, or 2-7, whatever it is they were.
2-8.
You have put in your rookie to find out if this guy can be your future. And the first thing you do is get to the red zone and take him out so he can't play in the red zone. What are you protecting him from? Find out if you have a franchise quarterback. Did it work? Sure. They got 2 touchdowns. Quinshon Judkins, great. You won the game. Who gives a shit? It doesn't even matter if you really win the game. You have to find out if Shedeur Sanders can play at the NFL level. That means reading red zone coverage. That means playing in the red zone, delivering. Now, there's only one of 2 reasons why you take him out. One, you're trying to protect him. And I'm sorry, the way things have been going in this season, I don't think Kevin Stefanski's trying to protect Shedeur Sanders. Or number 2, you really are trying to keep him from getting more attention with touchdown passes or whatever is going to happen, whether it's negative or positive, and trying to eliminate a distraction when in reality, all you're doing is causing a bigger distraction. Put the man in and let him see if he succeeds or not. I don't understand it. Maybe you can explain it to me better. I don't understand pulling him out in the red zone and just not finding out if this guy's your quarterback. It didn't make any sense to me. It made 0 sense to me.
You think there's, I mean, like every team, every coaching staff, everybody they have a game plan. Like, is this like I understand you want to give him you want to see what you have in Shedeur Sanders and your rookie quarterback, but at the end of the day, Kevin Stefanski's job is to win football games. So maybe that was the game plan coming into this, regardless of the situation with Shedeur. That could easily have been the game plan coming into this and saying that it's about the wins. Like that's what, and that may be coach speak, but it's about winning and losing. And what they did was win. Something I wanted to point out though that I don't think is getting enough talk. It's not even necessarily about Shedeur Sanders' play. It's the fact that Cleveland only let up one sack against the Raiders. Like Max Crosby and that defensive line, not the best, but we have all talked and given shit to the Cleveland Browns for their protection of Shedeur Sanders when he comes in. I even saw things of saying that the Browns offensive line is just letting pass rushers go to get to Shedeur Sanders because they don't like him. I've even seen that theory been thrown around there. But I don't think enough people are talking about the fact that they only let up one sack and Shedeur Sanders only got sacked once. He was making plays. He was finding ways to get out of the pocket to make plays. I don't think that was talked about enough. But when it comes to the red zone, I think it's more of a game plan type thing. And
that's a cop out and a bullshit answer, Kevin Stefanski's agent. You're talking about winning it. You're 2-7. You haven't won. I will say this. I can't off the top of my head. I can't say for certain. But every time they were in the red zone, they did it. And I think it was only a couple times earlier. I don't recall that being the case with Dylan Gabriel. Maybe I'm wrong. But if that was not the case with Dylan Gabriel, why is it different for Shedeur Sanders, number one? And number two, if you're Kevin Stefanski and you talk about, let me ask you this, Vinny. You win the game against the Raiders. You finish the season 5-6, maybe get to 6 wins. Let's give them an extra couple wins. 6 wins, 6-11, whether it's Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders. Is that 6 wins saving Kevin Stefanski's job?
No.
Now, let me ask you this question. If you are responsible for the quarterback being developed in Shedeur Sanders, who is now going to be your franchise quarterback because he plays excellent down the stretch, whether you win or lose, which one's more likely to save your job?
I don't know. I think I do lean. Thinking about, I think I lean winning. I think winning saves your job.
6 wins is not going to save your job.
I think that.
Let me ask you this question. Is Kevin Stefanski going to be fired at the end of the season?
Yes.
And how many wins does he have to get for him not to be fired?
Can the Browns win out and go 9-8?
I'm asking you, what's the number that Kevin Stefanski has to win in order not to be fired?
7.
Okay. So 7 wins. So his thought process in putting that's the mindset. We got to win whatever games. I got to win. I'm going to take out Shedeur Sanders, the quarterback I'm trying to develop, to put in Quinshon Judkins to do wildcat at the goal line to win this game because I got to save my job. And
let me develop the running back.
I don't get it. Whatever his reasoning is, I don't buy it. I think Kevin Stefanski legit does not want Shedeur Sanders on the roster. I'm not saying he's sabotaging him in the sense of like he doesn't like not working with him or anything like that. But I truly believe he does not want the talk around Shedeur Sanders. He doesn't want it. I think that's why he started Dylan Gabriel. It's the same reason why he came out after the game and said he's not going to name a starter for the next week when knowing damn well you were going to start Shedeur Sanders. So why not just say it? He's playing this game with the media and playing this game in his head like he thinks he's doing something. And to me, it's not helping in any way. Just come out and say Shedeur had played okay. He had some ups, he had some downs, he has some learning to go, but we're going to go with him next week. Because you didn't go evaluate tape and say, let's go back to Dylan Gabriel. No, let's go Shedeur. Like, you didn't do that. You knew the minute the crowd reacted, he got the win. You knew in your heart you had to start Shedeur Sanders this week. It was never a question. And so for him to play those games, I think there's just something really off about it. To me, if I'm the Browns, I'd have fired him already. I think he's mismanaged the entire situation. And I don't care. I'm not a Shedeur stan. Like, if he would have stuck with Dylan Gabriel, I really wouldn't have cared. Like, that's who they invested in. I wouldn't have cared. But the way he's handled the entire situation has been awful. And he does not need to be the head coach of the Cleveland Browns anymore. And you're talking about a former head coach of the year, like 2-time head coach of the year.
Yeah, I've always liked Kevin Stefanski, but I am 100% on your side that, and Bailey just brought it up in the chat. I think everyone needs to go. I think they
I
need a
disagree,
reset.
but
Really?
I think Andrew Berry's fine. If you look at this Browns roster, we've talked about this for outside of the wide receiver position, which they've invested heavily on the defense. That defense is one of the best in the league. They have a decent O-line. They've got talent. Everybody was saying they were a quarterback away from being an actual threat. Deshaun Watson kind of threw that out the window, right? Andrew Berry wanted Shedeur Sanders. That's who wanted Shedeur Sanders. And I think Kevin Stefanski and the owner wanted to draft Dillon Gabriel. And that kind of butted heads. But in the end, I think that the talent of Shedeur Sanders was always better than Dillon Gabriel. Always. Every level. Nobody ever questioned that. But they didn't want the distraction. Andrew Berry said, I want to take him. They said that was Andrew Berry's pick. So I say let Andrew Berry bring in a coach that wants to coach Shedeur Sanders and let him do it. And if you suck next year, the thing about this is if you can suck next year if you're Cleveland, and if you do, guess what? 2027 is going to be a better quarterback class anyways. Then you go get your quarterback. I just think they've mismanaged this entire situation. Kevin Stefanski has got to go for me. I just don't think it's ever going to be fixed until this is kind of fixed, until this is kind of playing out now. And we're just going to have to wait and see. But it was pretty much what I expected. I just think Kevin Stefanski did a poor job of handling it all.
Yeah, I don't see Kevin Stefanski returning at the end of the season. Now, I think you bring up a very valid point, though, about Andrew Berry and the way he's built this roster and the way he's constructed everything here. But he did hire Kevin Stefanski. So, that is, he is the one who brought him in. But
Kevin Stefanski, it's not like Kevin Stefanski hadn't done a good job. He's done a good job in the past. But when you mismanage a situation like this, and now you have the players on your team wanting Shedeur to play, reacting to things, you have got to just, even if you hate it, even if you disagree with it, the fans, the team, sell the tickets, if any, buy into it and just give them what they want.
But the coach's job is to win football games, and that's what he did, whether anyone likes it or not. That's what he did.
In the NFL, that's not always true. It's not always true in the NFL. It is an entertainment business. Your job is to make sure that you are relevant, that you are competing, and ultimately, yes, winning football games. But those three individual factors can work together. You can't tell me you were winning football games with Dillon Gabriel.
No.
You weren't. So what's the difference?
But I think it goes back to your point about the what they were doing in the red zone, specifically what they were doing in the red zone. They want to win football games. That's what it's
bullshit. Unless let me see some clips of when Dillon Gabriel was in the red zone. Did he get any red zone opportunities? Because I'm pretty sure he did. That's all I'm gonna say. And if I see it again this week, I'll say the same thing. If you're pulling the dude out every red zone opportunity, to me, you're making a statement.
You make it sound like if I see it again this week, I'm coming for you, Kevin Stefanski. If I see it again this week, I'm coming for you.
He should already be fired.
Fair enough. I can see it happening already. All right, let's spin it forward. Let's get into our Week 13 chats and go into. The beat just goes so hard. I just can't get past that.
Nobody got dropped like Vinny Milani.
I always forget that was a thing, and that was great. All right, let's go to Week 13 here. We've already talked a little bit about the Cowboys. They have a big matchup on Thanksgiving Day against Kansas City Chiefs. Both teams battling for a playoff spot. Aaron, is this an elimination game for the Chiefs and the Cowboys? One of these teams gone.
I don't know what I did in my past life to have the Lord put this on me. But I got Tom Landry right here. Patrick Mahomes right here. I'm afraid either my favorite team or my favorite quarterback, favorite player, is going to be eliminated with the loss on Thursday. The numbers don't look good when you talk about how the playoff picture sets up for either one of them with a loss. 6-6 or 5-6-1 in the NFC or AFC. We talked about, you had mentioned you think double-digit wins is going to be what gets into the postseason. It's what's gotten in the postseason the past couple of years. To me, I don't like saying must-win games until you're mathematically out. That's just how I am. But it's virtually a must-win game for both teams, and one of them's got to lose. Unless they tie, which would be really weird. But I just think I think it's
Cowboys
an important game.
5-5-2.
I think it's an important game. More so, I would say, more so to me for Dallas, because I think it would be harder for Dallas to win out than it would be for Kansas City. Like, I think Kansas City just has that history of being able to string wins together, and that more so than Dallas does. Dallas has KC, then Detroit, and then it gets a little bit easier from there. But I think Kansas City has more likely of a chance to win out if they lost this game. But virtually, I think both teams need to win this game.
Only one can win.
Only one can win.
Only one, or they can tie, but we don't do ties here. So
yeah, one can win.
It's been a while since we did predictions on this show, but I want a prediction from you on this game.
Man, it's crazy. I'm not trying to get a cop out or anything here either. Like, as a Cowboys fan, I really don't know what to expect. I don't think there's many defenses in the NFL that if the Cowboys offense is clicking, that will stop the Cowboys offense. They stop themselves sometimes, penalties, mistakes, fumbles, turnovers, whatever it is. But when they're clicking offensively, there's not many teams that are just going to stop them from moving the ball. There's a reason why they're one of the top offenses in football. But on the flip side, even though the defense has played well the last 2 weeks, and they played a lot better than even the 21-point start that Philly got than I thought, because of the way our offense looked early in that game. Something worries me about just like having to face an offense that's so proficient in Patrick Mahomes.
Sound the alarms. Sound the alarms. You just said you're worried. You just said you're worried.
Why wouldn't I be worried?
I'm just saying.
The Chiefs have been to 5 of the last 6 Super Bowls. Of course I'm worried. If you're a team and you're not worried about playing Kansas City, then you're delusional. It's a team that knows how to win. They know how to win. And so, yeah, it worries me as a Cowboys fan. I'm worried about this game and being able to do the things I need to get the job done. But Steve Spagnuolo's defense is unbelievable at making adjustments. I expect there to be maybe some early success for Dallas's offense, and then the second half to be hard, because they really do scheme it up really, really well, specifically in the second half of games. You've seen it. They've shut down the Colts offense in the second half. They did it earlier this year against some other teams. But I will say, I honestly do believe this is a more evenly matched game than probably in years past. I do. I just think that the power of the Eagle, or the power of the Chiefs, is the power of the Cowboys, the offense versus the Chiefs defense. And right now, when the Chiefs are one-dimensional, they haven't been very good. They ran the ball well against the Colts. So we've stopped the run the last couple of weeks. I'm excited for this game, but I am worried if I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan that this is the end of our season.
I am worried for you. I don't think you didn't give a prediction. I'll give a prediction. I think this game ends up being like 31-23 Chiefs. I think that is that's the way it ends up going. I think 31-23 Chiefs.
Who's Mr. PSU 40?
So let's go to the chat here real quick, and you let your TikTok viewers over there know that if they want to really get into the chat, YouTube.
Well, TikTok asked, trade ETN and Ferguson for Saquon.
ETN and Ferguson for Saquon dynasty.
What does your team look like? I need the rest of that roster, because that is pretty close right now. But I'm probably saying no, just off top, unless you're just really, really thin at tight end. I would no. I mean, yes, if you're getting Saquon, I would get Saquon. But it depends on what the rest of your team looks like. So you got to put your team in the chat for me to answer that question. Go ahead.
Hell yeah. Bailey said a week ago the Chiefs have to win out the rest of the way. The Chiefs have no tiebreakers ahead of them. Do you think that no, obviously you said you consider this being an elimination game for the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Do they have to win out? I don't think they have to win out.
No, they don't have to win out, but it is going to be harder if they don't win this one.
Yeah, I think one loss is okay for the Chiefs, but I think they can only afford one loss. This was my buddy Wes, who we did the show with long ago. He actually
I think you won that trade.
Jefferson,
Wandale, and Aaron Jones. I think that's a win for you if you traded Derrick Henry, Sutton, and
Jefferson, Wandale, and who?
Traded Derrick Henry, Sutton, Addison for Jefferson, Wandale, and Aaron Jones. Did I win or lose? I think you won that deal. I think Jefferson's the best player in the deal, even though he struggled with sorry-ass McCarthy. Sutton's been inconsistent. Derrick Henry's been inconsistent. And Jordan Addison's the second-tier receiver on that team. Wandale's actually been playing really, really well. And Aaron Jones could be a factor down the stretch, so I like it.
This is Wes, the guy we did the show.
First of all, Wes,
he came at
I knew what he was talking about.
He came at me on Sunday trying to tell me that the Lord and Savior Patrick Mahomes is no more and we have to give it up.
How old is Wes?
He's our age. Well, my age, not your age.
I'm about to say
you're old as shit.
Because I picture Wes. He's the Patriots fan, right?
Broncos fan.
Okay, so I mixed those two up. So he's probably also the guy, if he was around, that when Tom Brady struggled through like a certain point of the season was like, oh, their run is over in the Patriots and blah, blah, blah. I've had this conversation. How do we take the success a player has had for this long and there's a stretch of games where the team's not winning and their run is over, the Lord is no longer the Lord? It just sounds so stupid. Like, it just sounds dumb. By the way, I always ask this to people too. Like, what constitutes the saying he's no longer a Lord? He has 18 touchdowns, 7 picks. Like, he's not playing. It's not like he's he's playing like good quarterbacks in the NFL. That's the funny. The standard for Patrick Mahomes is here, and he's playing like other good quarterbacks that we're talking about. Like, man, they're having a good year, and that's Patrick Mahomes' worst.
I think that I think it's funny because he did text me this, and I laughed it off, and then the Chiefs ended up coming back and winning the game, and I was like, oh, yeah, here it is. But I think it's a big game. I think Thanksgiving for the Cowboys, though, they could end up surprising us, but Chiefs win 31-23.
Since October 19th, Patrick Mahomes has 13 touchdowns, 2 picks. Shut the hell up.
Is that good?
Yeah, just shut the hell up.
Is that good? All right, let's go from one elite quarterback to another elite quarterback. Joe Burrow, looking like and trending towards playing Thursday for the Bengals. He's missed the last 9 games due to his toe injury. Aaron, is this a problem is this a dumb move by Zach Taylor and the Bengals for bringing Joe Burrow back at 3-8? Playoffs are a long shot. Division is a long shot. You bring him back for this type of run. Do you think this is a mistake for the Bengals?
This type of run? Bengals fans, where you at? Man, I remember they were so heavy those Super Bowl year and the year after. They were so heavy about how good the Bengals are, how good Joe Burrow is. I'm going to say it again, and I've said this over the past couple of seasons, even before. Like, Joe Burrow's good, don't get me wrong, but he might be the most overhyped quarterback that gets no results, that doesn't get because he's injured all the damn time. The man, so like, what I think of Joe Burrow is he has all the talent in the world, and maybe it's because he's in Cincinnati, because it's not really about Joe Burrow, it's just about Cincinnati in general. He's in Cincinnati. He reminds me a lot of like the runs Eli Manning made. He plays better than Eli Manning. He's a better quarterback than Eli Manning. But when you're missing the playoffs every year, how are you considered the second best quarterback in football? And so, no, first of all, I'm sorry if I skipped your question. No, they shouldn't bring him back. It's stupid. He's going to play, but it's dumb. The Bengals are done. Bengals don't have a chance to make the playoffs. And even if they somehow won the rest of their games and made the playoffs, they'd get beat in the first round because they suck. They're not good. It's not a good football team. They have Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Joe Burrow. The rest of the team is trash. I don't know why every year people pick the Bengals to be a contender. They are not. They are not a good football team. One of the worst defenses in football. Their offensive line is not great. That's why Joe Burrow is always beat up. Their running game sucks. What about the Bengals screams, this is a good team, other than the fact that they got a guy that all the girls like to look at, even though he looks like the guy from Home Alone, and they got some wide receivers. It's perplexing. I don't understand it. We do this every year. We put the Bengals in like a contender. Watch out. And we put Joe Burrow as a top 2 or 3 quarterback. They're not. Neither one of them, because he can't stay on the field. He's hurt every year. Sorry. I just don't understand it. We love the next best thing every single time, except when it comes to Joe Burrow. We're so quick to hate on Jalen Hurts, to hate on Patrick Mahomes after a couple of bad games. And they made one run, and they went to the Super Bowl and got beat, but they did. Good for him. Rex Grossman made a run too. I remember those days. And we want to crown them like every year like they're a contender. I'm sorry, they're just not. They have a good passing game offense when you got Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow, and that is about it. That's it. I mean, I don't know what else to say about them.
Do you fire Zach Taylor after this year?
He should have been fired years ago. He's not a good coach.
Okay. All right.
He's not. He's not. I've never really liked Zach Taylor, but I just don't get it, man.
I can see it now. The Browns fire Kevin Stefanski. The Bengals fire Zach Taylor. And then Kevin Stefanski ends up being the head coach for the Cincinnati Bengals. That's what a world that would be.
He's 16-13 in his last 29 starts. And I know wins is not a quarterback stat, but we do that for every other quarterback. You can't be a Lord if you miss the play. So again, if the playoffs started today, they wouldn't be in the playoffs. If you want to have that conversation with me, talk to me when they miss the playoffs. So you can't have a bad season. Sure, we can entertain that conversation. But the fact of the matter is, the man's been to 5 of the last 6 Super Bowls. He can be whatever Lord he wants to be. He's allowed to have a bad season. He's allowed to have a bad season.
Hey, the Lord doesn't have bad days. Jesus Christ doesn't have bad days. Okay.
The fact that it's just unbelievable. I can't. This is why I can't talk. This is why we stop. This is why we stop here. I can't go at these young kids these days that want to. They're so quick to just discredit people. And you can have a resume this long, and you slip up once, and that's what you're held to. Like it's crazy to me.
To be fair, you're old as dirt. Everyone is younger than you.
That's my point. That's my point. I try to instill this wisdom upon you guys and help you understand. We will crown a rookie who's never done anything and say, "Oh, he's a beast. He's going to be the next best." Blah blah blah. But let the guy who's been to 1-3 Super Bowls, been to 5, yada yada, let him have a bad season or miss the playoffs one year or whatever, and there's a problem. Get the fuck out of here. I can't.
Let's before we get into our final game that we're going to talk about, do you have any other TikTok questions that you want to answer?
There's only one. Is Brenton Strange going to be good this week? And if BTJ is back this week, how will he play?
How will BTJ play? BTJ will play in terms of fantasy.
Well, yeah, these are fantasy questions.
I just got to make sure. I think BTJ.
You're talking to a Jags fan, by the way. This guy Vinny's a Jags fan. Everything he says is biased. Don't listen to it.
I try and be very realistic with my Jaguars. Okay, I think BTJ ends up getting slowly brought back into this offense. I think there's still going to be Jacoby Myers involved. Parker Washington's still going to be involved. I love Brenton Strange though, and especially in this matchup against the Tennessee Titans. I don't think the Titans defense has been that great. They are better against the tight end position. I think that Brenton Strange, though, is the key to this offense, albeit a bad offense. I don't
want any part of Jacksonville with Trevor Lawrence throwing the football.
I think it would depend on other tight end options, but I don't hate Brenton Strange. I think he's going to get targets. I think he's going to get the ball, and I think he can find his way into the end zone. I'm not that in on BTJ, though. I think it's a temper expectations for his first week back and seeing how this offense does with all of the pieces now back, except for Travis Hunter. That's
Brenton Strange, 20 targets in his last 4 games. Obviously, he had the dud against because he missed some time, right?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, so he's been back. I think that was his first game back. But prior to the injury, he had the dud against Kansas City, but he played well against San Francisco, Houston, and Carolina in that first week of the season. So
Tennessee allowing the 7th fewest points per game to the tight end position this season. That's my concern with Brenton Strange. But when on the flip side, when you go to the wide receiver position, they're one of the worst against wide receivers. So that may lean you into Brian Thomas, Tizzy
Marvin
Marvin
Harrison Jr. back this week. I don't think he's coming back this week. I think they're going to sit him out for a while.
What a revelation Jacoby Brissett has been. What a like for fantasy, like it is insane how.
Man, don't even get me started on these. I'm trying to come at coaches next. I'm so tired of the NFL coaches. I think the NFL coaches we got some shitball NFL coaches.
And that is the reason why. What is your go into it? I mean,
Jacoby Brissett. Like, why is Jacoby Brissett throwing the ball 60 times a game? It's stupid. It's stupid. In games that they're close in, they're just dropping back and throwing the ball every single play.
What else are they going to do?
This is why these coaches get fired. This is why Jonathan Gannon's not going to have a job. It's why Dave Canales is not going to have a job in Carolina for very much longer because he's doing the same shit with Bryce Young now after a couple of good games or a good game against Atlanta. These coaches get – I can't even – it boggles my mind. It boggles my mind. I understand Arizona right now doesn't have a running game. I understand that they're lacking running backs, but you're watching your quarterback get absolutely demolished,
smoked,
dropping them back every single play. And the same thing was happening in Carolina against the Niners. That game's a one-score game for most of that game. How many carries did Rico Dowdle have? Who's had 200-yard games this year? He's like 4th in the league in rushing. He had 6 carries against the Niners. It is so frustrating to watch football and to be, again, I'm not an NFL play caller. I didn't play in the NFL, but I played enough. I've watched enough. I've coached enough to watch that happen and just sit there and be like, dude, what are you doing? What are you doing? It's a one-score game, and you got your best offensive weapon all year, and you're not giving them the ball at all. And you're not even trying. It's the same shit I get mad about the Philadelphia Eagles when they don't give it to Saquon or any of those other guys. It's very, very frustrating, and I get when defenses scheme up and they're trying to stop the run. Sometimes you just got to run it. You just got to say, we're going to just run it here. I don't know.
I mean, getting stopped on 3rd and 3 before getting stopped on 3rd and 3 versus throwing another interception, both the kind of same thing. I mean,
you don't even understand. I'm screaming at the TV on Monday. Not even because I care. I don't give a shit about Carolina. I'm just like, how many times are you going to watch Bryce Young drop back and throw? How many times are we going to watch Jacoby Brissett drop back and throw and not even attempt to run? It's coaches this is why coaches are looking for jobs, and this is why those coaches won't be head coaches again.
Fair enough. We were talking about the Eagles. We haven't talked about the Bears yet tonight. They play on Black Friday. Both teams 8-3. Chicago has won 4 straight. The Eagles coming off of. Okay.
Sorry, I got spammed. You think Gainwell is going to slowly replace Warren because I have Warren on my team and I'm nervous? No. The answer is no.
The thing with that is, I don't know if can the people on TikTok hear me?
Yeah, they should be able to.
Perfect. I the thing with that, and that's something that I've been telling people even in my office for past week. When it comes to fantasy football, sometimes you just have to I get it, it's fantasy football, but talent, okay? Jaylen Warren is more talented than Kenneth Gainwell, okay? He just got paid. There is no, I cannot see Dowdle. I cannot see Kenneth Gainwell overtaking Jaylen Warren. We saw it with when they drafted Caleb Johnson and the talent thing coming into play. Jaylen Warren is a very talented running back. He's not just going to be overtaken by just some average backup running back who has been a backup the majority of his career.
Yeah, I'm going to echo that same sentiment. The passing down work has gone to Kenneth Gainwell. That's been the biggest difference. So Kenneth Gainwell's getting that over Jaylen Warren right now. But Warren still had 18 carries in that game. I mean, he's still getting his touches. I like Warren a lot. I think Kenneth Gainwell is kind of a change of pace back, and they were look. It was also Mason Rudolph.
Yeah.
He wasn't throwing the ball like Aaron Rodgers, so he was checking down a lot to Kenneth Gainwell. It was just one of those games for Gainwell. I just don't. I like Gainwell. Good little flex play if he's in your fantasy lineup, but I'm not. I wouldn't be nervous. I like Jalen Warren better. Also, is Troy Franklin going to be fine this week? I really like Troy Franklin. I think Troy Franklin is the guy that's going to only continue to get better. He's also becoming more and more of a target for Bo Nix. He's actually been getting heavily targeted, more so even than Cortland Sutton. If you look at his last 5 games, it's been insane. He's had, I think, nearly 50 targets.
Yep.
So I like him a lot.
As someone who's the Cortland Sutton owner in Dynasty, I have kind of given in to the fact that Troy Franklin has overtaken him as
and he's a big play guy.
One.
And he's a big play guy.
He's making those plays. And if you're talking about, I don't know if the question was for specifically this week with the Broncos playing Commanders. The Commanders are one of the worst teams against the wide receivers this year in fantasy, allowing the 3rd most fantasy points per game. He is going to be, that is a great start this week.
Troy Franklin to the moon. I love Troy Franklin. By the way, got him on my Dynasty team.
Another talented guy. I mean, that kind of goes back to the same thing. We talk about just talent overtaking spots. Like talent wins. Like even though it's fantasy and whatever, like talent will shine through 90%
week to week. Anybody can stand out, but I'm going to go with usually I'm going to go with the talent.
Yeah. Any other fantasy questions here before we get into our last game?
If you got questions, just keep dropping them. We'll keep answering them.
Yeah, for sure.
We're talking week 13. If you drop them in here, we'll eventually get to you.
Definitely. Last game that we're hitting on, Bears, Eagles, both 8-3 teams. Bears won 4 straight. Eagles coming off of blowing that 21-point lead to your Dallas Cowboys. Aaron, who needs this win more? And normally I don't like asking that question because it's a very layup type of question. It's very simple. But when you look at it, the Bears, winners of 4 straight, they're seeming like they're firing on all cylinders. But this game against the Eagles, it's a massive test for that offense because we talk about what the Eagles are good at. It's that defense. We talk about what the Bears need to be building on. It's that offense. Huge test for that Bears offense. On the other side, it's the Eagles coming off of a very bad loss to the Dallas Cowboys, needing to kind of they're in the spotlight. Black Friday, solo island game, massive spotlight for the Eagles. Who needs it more? The Bears, the Eagles?
Hey, can I answer your question a little bit differently? I think the Bears need it more. Let me just start. The Bears need it more. But you talk about predict. I think the Bears are gonna get demolished in this game. And, I said this about the Colts talk last week or even the Patriots a little bit. The Bears might be one of the most fraudulent 8-3 teams. And we've talked about Caleb. I love what Ben Johnson's doing. I'm not trying to knock them in any way. I just think they're a little bit ahead of of schedule. But I didn't notice it probably until over the weekend when I really looked at their schedule. They have not played or beaten anybody. They have not beaten anybody. Nobody. I'm looking at their schedule. They have not beaten anybody. The first 2 weeks of the season, they started 0-2, the Vikings and the Lions. Both teams were thought to be pretty good teams. The Cowboys win. We all know what the Cowboys defense looked like in week 3. That's probably their best win on their schedule. They lost to the Ravens. They haven't played anybody else. Win against the Raiders. Win against the Commanders.
That is the win. That's their biggest win of the season.
Which one?
Is that win against the Commanders on the road?
The Commanders are terrible.
Daniels. I think that was when the Commanders were thought of as a good football team.
They were never a good football team this year.
I think
the Commanders have been terrible all year.
I think when you look at those two, when you look at their schedule, their best win would be that Commanders game.
The Saints, the Bengals, it's just not good. Who have they beat? The Giants, the Vikings we've seen since then, the Steelers. None of these teams are playing really good football. They don't have an impressive win on their schedule to me. Even the Cowboys win and the Commanders win are not impressive to me. And again, they play the Eagles at Philly. They play at Green Bay. Cleveland. They tough defense. That defense is going to give them problems. Cleveland is never an easy out. I don't want to say that, but they are a bad football team, so they should win that game. Then the Packers again, then the Niners, and then the Lions. I know this is a stretch because it's the NFL. They'll get some wins. I think they lose 5 or 6 games. I think this at the end of the season, we could be looking at the Bears and be like, they're 9-8. Like they're 9-8. It would not shock me.
It could end up being the same thing, like I said with the AFC, where you need 10 wins to make the playoffs, and if that doesn't happen with the Bears, and that ends up, and I can see that happening as well. I
will give them the benefit of the doubt that they split with the Packers because it's a division. They get the Browns win, but outside of that, I don't really see them. Maybe the Niners on the road. I don't know. I don't see a lot of wins on the back half of this schedule. It's the toughest part of the schedule, and this is what I was telling you last week. You look at the teams in the NFL and look at their schedules in the back half. They're all tough. And so all these teams with 8, 9, 7 wins to start the season, watch how those teams start to falter down the stretch. You're really going to find out which teams are good. I like the Bears. I think they're a little ahead of schedule. I think Philly rolls them on Friday night.
Do you remember the last time the Bears played on Thanksgiving last year? Do you remember what happened?
Against the Lions? They always play the Lions.
Do you remember what happened?
No, I probably was doing something.
That was the game that Matt Eberflus ended up. They had that whole debacle of calling a timeout, and like they came down to the final play, and they didn't get the snap off in time, and yeah. So this time of year, not.
I think
good.
Philadelphia. I think I think Philadelphia. Put it this way. Same situation with Dallas and Kansas City. Neither one of these teams really want to lose this game, right? Can't really afford to, or it's going to be more turmoil. For the Bears' sake, it's just going to be kind of we got a tough schedule. We got to keep pace. But Philadelphia, I think, is going to show up. I think you're going to get one of those Philadelphia, like, oh, man, are they back? I think you're going to get that kind of game. And the Bears have injuries on defense. I just think Philly takes this one pretty easily.
Yeah, I can see it. I am on board with that. Let me get to Bailey's question here real quick for fantasy, and then we'll jump into your fantasy questions that I'm sure you have lined up. Should I start Sam Darnold in the revenge game against the Vikings or find another quarterback from Bailey in the YouTube chat? Aaron?
Start Sam Darnold versus the Vikings. Well, I mean, or you're picking somebody off of waivers? No, you're going with your guy. If that's your starter, I mean, Daniels is my main. Daniels is dead, at least for another couple of weeks. I mean, Darnold's been playing well. What happened to my live?
Oh, no more questions on there. I think I would go with Darnold as well. I'm not sure that there's another fantasy quarterback that's probably on the wire that I would go to. Would you rather Jacoby Brissett against the Bucs or Sam Darnold against the Vikings?
My phone just died on me.
Brissett against the Bucs, Darnold against the Vikings.
I would play Darnold.
Okay. Would you play
Jacoby Brissett is like desperation for me.
Would you play Caleb Williams against the Eagles or Sam Darnold against the Vikings?
Sam Darnold.
Yeah. I think
the
Lawrence,
answer is Sam Darnold. Hold on.
Trevor Lawrence against Tennessee or Sam Darnold against the Vikings?
Sam Darnold.
Okay. All right. This man got to get up. You always, at least your internet hasn't gone out yet. Now it's just your phone dying. This man, unbelievable with this. There's just always something with this guy. There's just always something. Got to get a charger now to bring us back live on TikTok. Coming up, we've got a few.
I'm a man of the people. I got to be back on TikTok.
Hey, I'm with it. I'm with it, man. We got a lot of people. We got a lot of people wanting your advice.
It's the holiday season. I ain't got shit to do. I might as well.
Yeah, I mean, something like that.
Something like that.
Speaking of holiday season, let's get into our final. Little nugget for the night here. When you're back up.
I'm back. I mean, go ahead. We don't have to.
Sure. Okay. All right. So with Thanksgiving coming up on Thursday, I wanted to play a little game with you. We're going to go through 4 teams, and I want you to give us what these teams are thankful for. Let's start off with those San Francisco 49ers that we were just talking about. They are coming off of a win against Carolina Panthers that did not look so pretty. Aaron, what should the 49ers be thankful for?
Well, first of all, they should be thankful for that they got 2 quarterbacks. because Brock Purdy looked like a turd on Monday night. And what I don't get, and listen, they should be thankful that they have Mac Jones to back up Brock Purdy because it does give them a little bit of stability at the position because Brock Purdy has, I don't want to say has kind of fallen off, but remember a couple years ago, like he goes to the Super Bowl, everybody's like Brock Purdy gets the $700 million. I don't know how much money he got. He got a big deal.
This man making Juan Soto money right now.
And then he's been banged up. He hasn't been that great. He's been kind of a risk taker. He's kind of a gunslinger mentality, but not really the talent to be a gunslinger, if that makes sense. But they should be thankful Mac Jones is there because they can take some chances. If he gets hurt again, Mac Jones came in and filled in pretty decently. But, like, he hasn't been overly impressive. They're winning football games. He's 3-1 this year as a starter, but just 8 touchdowns, 7 picks. And he looked god-awful on Monday night. I don't care what anybody says. He was throwing into – he was staring down receivers like his name was Colin Kaepernick. One read staring guys down, and J.C. Horn and those guys were just eating. If Carolina's offense did anything, they would have won that game. And thank the heavenly lords above that he's got Christian McCaffrey in his backfield, that he can check the ball down to every play because he just hasn't played well. So,
yeah.
So, we just have to – I don't want to throw too much shade on Brock Purdy. I know he's been banged up.
Well, I do want to throw some shade on Brock Purdy real quick because my next question for you is some shade.
Okay, well then let me have it. Sorry, we're back on TikTok, guys. I just my phone died. I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm poor. I need
poverty.
I'm poverty. I can't get this thing to fucking stay.
So 4 quarterbacks lately got the bag, and I know the whole value thing, money, got to pay these guys, whatever, yada yada yada. Jordan Love, Trevor Lawrence, Tua, Brock Purdy. Those 4 quarterbacks got the bag and have not been playing well. How would you, if you were to build a franchise, rank those 4 quarterbacks?
Say it again.
Purdy, Love, Lawrence, Tua. 4 quarterbacks.
God, ugly. Jordan Love, number 1 by far. It's Jordan Love and then it's the other 3 guys. I probably would go Jordan Love. I would go Trevor Lawrence.
Ew.
I would go Tua, and then I would go Brock Purdy. And those rankings are based on like what they've been able to do, but also ability and the talent level they have. So if I get the right coach with them, that's what I'm thinking. Like not in their current situation, but if I get Trevor Lawrence with the right situation, right coach, but if I get Tua with the right situation, right coach, Purdy is in the right situation with the right coach. And we saw he started really hot in his career, but he's, again, I'm not a big quarterback win stat guy, but a lot of people are. He's 9-10 in his last 19 starts, so he hasn't been winning. And he doesn't play well when Christian McCaffrey's not there. So
fair enough.
He's turning the football over.
I just hate Trevor Lawrence.
I know you
that's
do.
what
Okay,
I'm,
hold on.
that's
I got a couple questions.
All right, hit me.
Is Tyrone Tracy good for this week? Is he going to be good for this week? Who do they play?
The Giants play the – where the fuck are the Giants? Oh, Monday Night Football against Patriots. Yeesh. So Tyrone Tracy against the Patriots. That's the question?
Yeah, I think it's a safe play. I think it's okay. Jackson Dart supposed to be back. If it was Jameis, then I'd say, yeah, take him. But, yeah, I think it's okay. He's getting the bulk of the carries. He's getting targeted. He's had 4 targets in the last 2 games each. I think it's okay.
And what's your level of okay? Because I think he ends up outside the top 24 running backs this week. So depending on what you need, that might be.
Well, that's what is Tyrone Tracy an RB2?
I think he's been able to be an RB like the past 2 starts. I think he's finished RB2. Yeah.
If you have Tyrone Tracy as your RB2, you're not in a good situation in fantasy. Is what I'm saying.
Fair. No, that's
like I think he's a safe enough play for this week. He'll come in at RB3 flex play and But if he's your RB2, then something's wrong on your team, and you're probably not winning anyways.
Yeah, I'm not a big Tyrone Tracy fan. I would consider looking at other options because the Patriots against running backs in fantasy has been one of the best teams. And then you got I just don't like how.
Well, you're
the
telling me
matchup
he's an
is.
RB2.
No, I'm saying the past few weeks he's been able to produce RB2 numbers. Are you looking this up?
No, I'm looking at something else.
Okay, all right.
Sorry.
You're good.
I mean,
But-
I was just thinking like.
So would you rather? In terms of running backs, would you rather Tyrone Tracy against the Patriots or DeAndre Swift against the Eagles?
DeAndre Swift.
Would you rather Woody Marks against the Colts or Tyrone Tracy?
Woody Marks. Woody Marks is the top 15 running back though right now.
Would you rather Kareem Hunt against the Cowboys or Tyrone Tracy?
Tyrone Tracy.
This might be the best question for it. With Alvin Kamara out for the Saints, Devin Neal steps up to be the RB1 for the Saints against the Dolphins. Would you rather Devin Neal, who that person can probably pick up on the waiver wire this week, or
Tyrone
Tyrone
Tracy.
Tracy? Really?
Yes, man. Look, why do we get so infatuated with these guys that just come out of Devin Neal? Like nobody knows.
Tyrone Tracy is that. Tyrone Tracy is that exact same thing coming out of nowhere.
Tyrone Tracy played last year. Devin Neal is a rookie this year. No. You're missing what I'm saying. Nobody. I could ask 90% of fantasy football players. Nobody would know who Devin Neal is.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody would know where he went to college. Nobody would know that he was a beast in college. Nobody would know
that. That's a damn shame. He was a dude in college. He was really good in college.
But we want to be so quick just because Alvin Kamara out. Look, I'm not saying he won't have a good day, but they're going to be throwing the ball. They're going to be behind probably.
Fair. Any other fantasy questions? Hopefully we answered that one for you.
Running backs are Warren and HN. You're good. So, yeah, if you're playing Tyrone Tracy as a flex, put him in your lineup. You're good to go.
I mean, what are your other flex options? Drop it in the chat. What are your other flex options are? What are your other options?
Flex.
Yeah, but what are your other flex options? I want to know, okay?
You don't know shit.
Hey.
Let's go.
You're right. You have any other fantasy questions in there?
No, that's it.
All right.
Shout out to Drew. Shout out to Drew Frizz Sancho. I don't know.
Hey, speaking of Franchos,
he's been in the chat a long time. So if you guys want to watch the full, see us both, then you got to go to YouTube right now until next time I go live. I guess the third time, then we can both get in there.
Yeah, and if you're in the YouTube chat, you can drop your fantasy questions.
He has Odunze, Watson, and Tucker.
Odunze,
Christian Watson. Like I said, play Tyrone Tracy and call it a day.
Yeah, I think so.
Get your guaranteed touches.
Yeah, I think that's I agree with you on that one. Yeah, if you're in the YouTube chat, drop your fantasy questions. If you're in the TikTok chat, drop your fantasy questions. We're here for
Bailey, we didn't ask you. I put my claim in for Neil and he went to Kansas.
That's the way. That's the way to go. I have claims on Neil as well. All right.
I think everybody does. Fantasy football is so predictable.
You're the worst. I hate you so much. The Indianapolis Colts. Let's get back to our little Thanksgiving game that we were playing here. If you're the Indianapolis Colts, what do you think? What are you most thankful for, outside of Jonathan Taylor?
Well, number one, I would just like to say, I told you guys I was right. We talked about that MVP talk, and when Jonathan Taylor couldn't run the ball, when Colts needed to score, where was the MVP? Well, guess what? Didn't matter. You needed the quarterback. You needed the quarterback. You needed Daniel Jones to play well, and he didn't, and you lost. So I don't want to hear any more talk about the running back being an MVP because you just can't. You got to have your guys up front block for you. You don't control the game. Like Daniel Jones needed to play well. He didn't play well in the second half, and that's why they lost. So first off, that's number one. But they can be thankful for the wins that they stacked up early in the season because that allowed them a little bit of cushion to lose games like they did on Sunday. So when you're Colts, again, The one loss they had prior to the Chiefs game was the game against the Rams. They've been able to beat bad to mediocre teams. And with their remaining schedule, I think there's enough mediocre to get them to the finish line, to get them into the playoffs. So they get the Texans this week. Not an easy game. But they got 2 against the Jags. That'll help. They should probably get one of those at least. That gets them to 9. If they can split with the Jags and split with the Texans, they'll get to 10 wins. I think that's enough to get into the playoffs. Seahawks, Niners are the other 2 teams on that schedule. So I think the stacking of the wins, they can sit at their Thanksgiving Day turkey meal and say, you know what? Thank God that we were able to stack 8 wins early in the season to allow us to get to the postseason.
Division's on the line. That division heating up. The division's heating up. Okay. 2 more teams. The Baltimore Ravens. What should they be thankful for? They've got the Bengals this week. They're 6-5. They're now in a position to take the AFC North.
Well, this one's easy as well. The Ravens got a lot to be thankful for, but the biggest thing they got to be thankful for, they play in a division with the Browns, the Bengals, and the Steelers, because this is absolutely atrocious. You knew something was wrong when in week, I don't know, when the Ravens were 1-5, they were still the favorite to win the division. That's all you needed to know. So they should be thankful for the fact that the Steelers, the Bengals, and the Browns are all in that division. And what used to be the tough NFC North or AFC North is now a cakewalk for Baltimore every year, seems like. And they're going to win the division again. And so it's easy. Lamar's not playing well, and Baltimore still doesn't have anything to worry about.
So that could come back to actually bite them in the ass, though. I mean, like,
why?
If I know your thoughts on the Bengals, but they still have to play the Bengals twice. That could end up.
What does that matter?
That could end up hurting them. The playing in this division actually may end up hurting them.
Bro, what is it with you guys and the Bengals? The Bengals suck.
I'm just saying, Joe Burrow might change a few things.
What is? I don't get how we can keep doing this. I don't get it. I don't get it. What is Joe Burrow going to do for a defense that can't stop nobody? Joe Flacco was throwing for 400 yards in the Bengals. They still were losing.
Yeah, this is true. This is true.
Drop Keenan Allen for Jaden Reed.
Ugh.
I don't like either one of those guys, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I would probably just stand pat with Keenan Allen right now. It depends. I guess I would say this. If you need some upside and you're looking for maybe something just to hit and you can afford dropping Keenan and lose that kind of, I don't want to say stability because he hasn't been good, but then go ahead. It really what your team looked like, but Jaden Reed would be more of a boomer bust type guy that you're banking on.
I would make that. I would do that. I would be okay with that.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to hurt either way. To be honest, I don't think it's going to make a difference on your team. But also, is Stafford going off this week?
Stafford goes off every week.
Yeah, does a bear shit in the woods?
Yeah,
does a one-legged duck swim in a circle?
Whoa.
Does a pit bull wear Jordans? I mean, come on, those are all obvious. Yeah, Stafford's going off this week. Stafford goes off every week. Stafford's the MVP right now.
Yeah.
Stafford is the MVP right now.
That one's on the easier side for me as well. We'll take this last fantasy question and we'll get into our final team. Bailey asks, should I start Olave, Rashad White, or Emmanuel Wilson if Josh Jacobs is out?
Well, number one, like this week, I am staying away from Tampa Bay running backs, so I would sit Rashad White. Yep.
This is the Olave for me, easy.
Yeah. I don't even know why this is a question.
Yeah,
Nah. I think Olave is the start, but if Josh Jacobs is out, Emmanuel Wilson should be in lineups. So
yeah,
I'll just say that.
Agreed. All right, last team on our list of Thanksgiving, in the season of giving, in the season of thanking, the New England Patriots, Aaron. They are, well, I feel like this is the theme for this show today, where we're talking about teams that have been taking advantage of bad schedules to start the season. Are we gonna finish off the night with the same theme here for the New England Patriots?
No, a little bit different. I'm gonna kind of turn the tides from what I know I was kind of coming harsh on them last week by putting the Bills over them and some things I said about the Patriots and they have to worry. I still believe those things, but I think the Patriots should be thankful for the step in the right direction. They got their quarterback. I like Drake May, Vrabel. We talk about what wins in the NFL: head coach, quarterback. I think they got theirs. Are there things that they can fix? Yes. Did the offensive line take a big hurting on Sunday? Yes. Losing Will Campbell and that offensive line is going to be a big time deal for them, especially going into the postseason. But I still think the Patriots are a year ahead. I think next year was supposed to be the year they were really making some waves. I think Drake Mays played really well. He might have took himself out of the MVP conversation. Maybe he's still in it. I don't know. But I think it's kind of Stafford's to lose now. But they should be thankful. They have all the pieces in place to make another run at being a good team that could contend for Super Bowls for the next 10 years or so.
Next year funny enough, next year for the Patriots, they play the NFC North and the AFC West for their
what the hell does that got to do with anything? Vinny?
They're going to play a bit harder schedule. That's going to be a harder like that is going to be.
So man, what is wrong with y'all? How do you know that's going to be a harder schedule? You don't even know who's on these teams yet. What in the hell?
You didn't know I can predict the future. I can see it. I'm like Raven Simone, man. That's so Vinny on this show. Okay,
let me ask you this question.
You are my little brother. You are Corey from That's So Raven, and I am Raven. You're Orlando. You're Orlando.
First of all, I don't watch
whatever the guy's name is.
The beginning of this year, they said the NFC East was going to be a tougher division because Washington, their shit, not a tough division anymore. Nobody thought, maybe some people thought, that the NFC North would have 3 teams, and not including the Vikings, be good. They're good. Everybody thought the Bills were going to be a tough out, so the AFC East was going to be a little bit better. It's really not. It's a shit burger. The AFC West,
South is the best division in football.
The NFC West is the best division in football right now with the Rams, the Niners, and the Seahawks, and nobody really wants to say it, but they are. The NFC North is supposed to be tough every year. Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, and Baltimore. You don't know what these teams are going to look like next year. You don't know that the AFC West. Remember the year you told you guys, everybody said that the AFC West was going to go crazy and knock off Patrick Mahomes, and nobody made the playoffs except for the Chiefs? I don't want to hear this shit about next year. You don't know who's going to be good. You don't know who's going to be good.
It's so good. All right. Any other last-minute fantasy questions coming in?
No, but Drew says, thankful for Stephon Diggs delivering his newborn baby with Cardi B. Shout out Stephon Diggs and I be hearing he got babies everywhere, but I don't really know. We don't do the personal stuff here. As long as he goes out and catch footballs, I ain't tripping.
Yeah, it is. You might as well change that TikTok stream to fantasy questions. You want to do that real quick? You want to just change it to fantasy questions?
There's only one viewer. It's fluctuated, but we're just getting started here.
Wait, we're just getting started. We're an hour and a half in. What do you mean?
We're just getting started back into the rhythm here of doing the thing. We're just getting...
So does this count as the third live stream?
No, because I just continued that first one.
Okay, got it.
But we got some likes out of it. Got some.
There you go. All right. Well,
so AI put something in there and just all of a sudden changed my life to fantasy football Q&A, ask lineup questions. The AI did that. I didn't even touch it because we started talking about fantasy football. It's crazy.
We can stay live if you want. I mean, Bailey asked, "Do you think CMC gets 1K and 1K?"
Oh, I saw this question there. His thing about it in there earlier. Why aren't people talking about him like with Jonathan Taylor? You know why? It's because this is going to sound so crazy and so stupid. And I don't want it to because I'm not discrediting CMC. But it's so fraudulent, if that makes sense.
Wow.
Because the Niners are the void of talent on offense, everything goes through CMC. It's like a basketball player who I use this example all the time. Jeremy Grant, right? Jeremy Grant was a role player for the Nuggets. He went to, and he averaged like 9.8 points a game, whatever. He went to the Pistons, and then he averaged 20, right? Because he took all the shots. But it didn't make him a better player. He wasn't a better player. He wasn't he was the same player. He was just getting the more opportunities. Christian McCaffrey is the same great player we've always known Christian McCaffrey to be. The difference is he's just getting every touch. It's ridiculous. And this is why he can't stay healthy. This is why he ends up getting hurt. He is not the problem. That's not the problem. The problem is the rest of the Niners offense and what Kyle Shanahan and them have to rely on him for. So maybe he goes 1,000 again, but I'm not going to sit here and act like it's some crazy impressive thing for me because I know he can do it. It's just different than when like the LaDainian Tomlinsons were doing it or the Chris Johnsons were going close to 2,000 total, 2,400 yards or whatever total yards. I feel like they're just force feeding him the ball just because. Win or lose, didn't matter. Like, let's just give it to Christian. Let's just give it to Christian. Give it to Christian. And to me, it's not really appeasing. So it's not that special. No.
I had suggested it may be very similar to like when people cry about voters fatigue, where it's like they're like, this is just CMC. Like, this is just the Niners offense. This is just like what happens. Like, this is it. Like, this is nothing new here.
But it doesn't change anything. You can't be a most valuable player being a running back.
I always love, and not really love is not the word. Hate really is the word. I always hate when people bring up like comparing like what people are hearing and watching on TV, like what the pundits are saying, because like there's so much that and maybe it's because we're in it now, like we're in that world where like these guys that are talking about this stuff on TV, it's not about, half of the time it is not about what people should be talking about. It's what the world wants to hear, and it's about the markets, it's about things like that. And CMC talking about him going 1K is not going to be as sexy as talking about the Dallas Cowboys coming back from 21-0 or from 21-0 to beat the Eagles. That's just not what happens. And a lot of people will go on and complain about that kind of stuff. And in this case with CMC, it's just like it's not taking away from what he's doing. What he's doing is very, very impressive. We all are aware of this, but it almost is just like that voter fatigue where we're like, okay, we know it's CMC. We know it's this offense. This offense does it all the time. Like, this is what this offense is. He's going to do this because he is great as long as he can stay healthy. It's just CMC being CMC.
Yeah, I'm just not moved by it. I mean, he's playing great. I would expect nothing less.
Yeah. Any other questions there?
You guys think Saquon's going to do bad again? Because it doesn't matter. No, I will never say Saquon's going to do bad. He'll find his way in there to do something positive. But do I think he's going to be great? It's hard to say that right now.
He's in your lineup regardless, though.
Yeah, you drafted Saquon in your first round, maybe the second round but first round.
Yeah,
he's going to be in your lineup. So
yeah, he's in your lineup regardless, and you're hoping for the best. The Bears are middle of the pack when it comes to fantasy points allowed at the running back position, so you can hope for
look at Vinny with the research.
I'm here. I have my interwebs running. That's what I do.
You didn't do shit.
No, it's just the internet. It's just the internet. The internet is a powerful tool. All right, that does it for another episode of the Sac City Podcast. We'll be back next. We might not be back next week. We'll have to discuss after this.
Wait, because you're going on that stupid ass cruise.
I'm going on a stupid ass cruise. Yeah. Oh yeah,
Damn, what day? Yeah. Is it a 7-day?
Yeah, it's 7 day. Yeah.
God dang.
Yeah. We'll figure it out, though. We'll have content. We'll have content for people regardless. So
yeah, we'll figure out something. Maybe I'll go live on the TikTok again. Just all two of my viewers for 230 followers. I don't even know how they gave me.
Just rattle off fantasy advice. That's what people are doing nowadays.
Yep, that's what I'm gonna do.
I'm one of the clowns that normally watches that kind of stuff. So
yeah, I mean, you're just a clown in general.
That's really what I meant.
Make sure you guys go to YouTube, subscribe to the Sac City Podcast. We'll be here every week. We're just starting to get back up again. We started in week 11 this year. We had to come out of retirement. We got tired of
You okay over there?
Yeah, it's saying community flag comments detected, filter comments. Man, TikTok always playing games.
It's the man trying to shut us down.
Trying to shut us down. Must be the same man that cooked your Thanksgiving turkey. Oh, shit. All right, y'all. We're out. Thanks for following. Hit us at Sac City Podcast. I'm not trying to...
And everyone on YouTube, we appreciate you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to give us a like, give us a subscribe, share, tell your friends that Sac City is back. We'll be back at some point bringing you all the best content you could possibly have for your football needs. Happy Thanksgiving to all, and
Peace
to
out.
all, a good night.
We know we were a much better team if we came up and represented ourselves.
That's what we call a sack lunch. Nom 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 nom.